2021 with a short market update. The crop condition report came out yesterday afternoon. It's pretty much unchanged. Corn was down 1%, beans were unchanged. At this point, the trade's going to stop really focusing on that and really get focused on, the U.S. harvest, going forward, and South America planting. Harvest has started here in the U.S. and locally here in Northern Illinois. We're just really getting our feet wet. And as expected, yields are all over the board. We've had some really good stuff where we caught a few late rains. The stuff that we didn't catch, still fairly decent, just not as good as expected or what we potentially could have had. Some of the early corn that did not get rain to finish out, test weight seems to be a little bit lower than we're used to. With the stuff that did get rain, that stuff is, weighing pretty decent at this point. Beans we haven't really, we've only had a couple small farms get done, and yields seem to be, pretty decent on that, high 60s to low to mid 70s. So kind of all over the board. Obviously next week we'll probably get a better sample size with the heat, drying everything down pretty fast. So I guess we'll have a little bit better idea of where things are going forward as we talk to you next Tuesday. As far as the market goes, we did see a setback after the hurricane here a couple weeks ago. The market has recovered some, not, kind of as strong as we wanted to, but I think the volatility is going to continue to be pretty high just because we don't know, exactly what's out there. I guess the biggest question is, will the East offset all the problems in the West? At this point, it's hard to tell, but I guess we'll know, more here in the next 3 weeks, kind of how bad the West is versus how good the East is. China has been, purchasing a few beans, just not as many as we would like to see them, or the traders would like to see. They're buying small increments. So they're gonna be a big player in this market, as they always are, but the bulls really need China to continue to buy weekly. And unfortunately on the corn side, we haven't seen them buy any corn since May. So that really is just kind of weighing on the market at this point, as far as not letting this thing jump back up to the values that we did see. But if China does come in and start buying some, then we'd probably see this market get jump started again, just with, not knowing exactly what the U.S. crop is going to look like. So, with that said, values are still pretty strong. Basis did back off a little bit for harvest, but, still historically not bad harvest values. So if you need to make some catch-up sales, I would, get some on the books. If you do have enough sold, I would definitely be getting some offers put in place before you get in the combine, and, your mind is on a lot of other things versus this market. So just letting those offers work while you're busy is probably not a bad plan. And then, looking out into the 22 crop, December corn futures are right around $5. November beans right around $12.60. Probably some decent values to be locking in. We do have some programs that, we can lock in that $5 floor and leave your upside, open for pretty reasonable money. So talk to your local grain buyers about some of those opportunities. Because going forward, nothing says that this market has to stay elevated where we are. If we do have a bigger crop than expected, China does not continue to buy, then this market is probably going to set itself back at some point, and we just don't want to miss this opportunity. So getting some small sales on for next year's crop is probably not a bad idea in my mind. And then before I leave you, if you have not downloaded the FS Grain app, go ahead and do so today. Just go to your app store, type in FS Grain, download that app. Going into harvest, you'll see all your tickets, all your contracts. And that'll just save a few phone calls from, calling the elevator to see what things are doing. If you have any questions, again, call your local grain buyer, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks. Stay safe.